Hello everyone, I am back with my next video. This is on the next shloka. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha na chaivana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. So, what does this mean? Lord Krishna is continuing to answer to the expression of grief of Arjuna. The second shloka, that after Ashochanam Vashochaspam Prajnavadamscha Bhashase Gatasu Nagatasumscha Nanashochanti Panditaha. So you grieve for somebody who is unworthy of being grieved for, and you speak like wise. The wise do not grieve for those who have departed and those who are departing. Right. So what does he mean by this? Natvevaham jatunasam. Natvam neme janadipaha. There was never a time when I did not exist. There was never a time when you did not exist, Arjuna. Nor any of these rulers. There will never be a time in the future when all these existence will cease to be. This is the meaning of this shloka. So this is a direct translation of the shlokam the way I understand it. Now, so what does he actually mean by this? Lord Krishna knows very well that Arjuna knows that is certain for somebody who is born. Despite that, he says that existence will never cease to be. How am I to understand that? And so here, knowing Sankhya a little bit, knowing a little bit of Sankhya before, I'm able to relate to what Lord Krishna is saying. So I'm going to explain to you how I relate to what Lord Krishna is about to say. He's going to answer this. Existence as we see it, the material existence. So you see right behind me, there is a wall out there. That wall has its philosophy behind. So what's the wall made of? The wall is not just a wall, it just looks to be a wall. The wall comprises of the raw materials of the paint after it got into the shape of a paint. Behind the paint is the concrete, and behind the concrete, or within the concrete, is the crushed stones and the cement. And beyond that layer is the brick. And then again, so just behind me, there is a wall, and that wall has its own contents. But those contents are not visible. Just like that, the Atma within never ceases to exist. Only the appearance that changes, that comes and goes. Birth is for the appearance, death is for that appearance. In the form of what? In the form of the human body that we know, or in the form of any living being's form that we know, that we see every day. So this is what he actually means. Natvevaham jatunasam. That means I. As you mean the I, what are you intending to identify? What are you identifying when I say Natvevaham jatunasam? Lord Krishna is identifying the Atma within, the soul within, the collective consciousness of all our Janmantaram. When I say Janmantaram, it's the collection of all the births before we came into this particular birth in which you're listening and I'm talking now. So this birth is just one of the many births that we have had in the past. So, what does it mean? So this existence is going to go on. It will never cease to be. It's a cycle. So it's going to keep coming back until the karma gets over. So how does the karma get over? So let me throw a ball from here. And let's say, or let me take this, I'm going to take this bottle, I'm going to throw here. So there is karma in throwing up, this goes up, and it comes back down, and it settles down somewhere. Now going up, coming back down because of gravity, and then it settles down somewhere, all these are what? Karma. Now it's settled down. My karma has got over, but there is the resultant karma. That is still on. Now again, the existence here at this point in time here, after it settled down in this particular place, before I picked it up from a different spot. So that changes. So it existed here. So this is because of my karma. So that's not end it. So the way to end that is not in my hands. It is in the hands of the Paramatma. So he has the count. He has the count of all the deeds. When I say karma, it includes both the so-called punya and papa. The categorization based upon the impact, or the so-called shastra. Anything shastra virodham is considered as it's a papa, and anything that is shastrottamam, that is punya. So now again here he combines both. When we're talking about Sankhya Yoga. So until that karma is done, the birth cannot cease and the death cannot cease. So what does he say? What does he say? Here, never ceases to be. So what does that mean by never ceases to be? Which means what? It's going on. So when he decides to give, liberate somebody, he has the capability to do that. We cannot go back and question, or I cannot go back, at least in my understanding, I won't be able to go back and question that. Or I can't even, I don't even know whether I will have the capability to even understand, how he can grant and how does he qualify to grant. There is a word called Aptavakya. That's how I look at, Lord Krishna's words. Aptavakya, the word Apta, like in the words of Swami Vivekananda, is the attained. That is what he speaks. When I vaguely remember that. When we talk about Raja Yoga, again we can go back to Aptavakya. Aptavakya is what? So Apta is somebody who is authoritative in his, or he is a man of authority for that particular topic that he makes an opinion. When an Apta says, we got to believe it, and that is Shastra. So we don't have to question that. We don't have to challenge that. But when, let's say, somebody who's ordinary like me is going to say it, and before I listen to it, or before somebody else who's listening to me, I would expect them to go and back and analyze what I'm saying, and then try to take what I'm saying. But that's not the case with Aptavakya. Aptavakya, in a sense, it is because the Apta is somebody who is already attained. We cannot use the word inspiration. Like in the, we can't be inspired. You can't say inspired, because inspiration is going to come outside of somebody. I look at something and I get inspired outside of something, outside of me. So I look at something or somebody outside of me and I get inspired to do something. So which is not the case with Apta. Apta is somebody, he gets his motivation from within himself. And that kind of a state is something that we won't be able to attain now. Examples I can just to give you, just to relate for now, because I'm not going to go deep into that, because I want to stick to the current shloka. Aptavakya, the examples of the rishis, the arvas, the nayanmars, those who have seen through. That is no wonder we have the word rishi. Rishi is somebody who sees through things and not the ones which just appears. There's a famous quote in the in Tamil, which is called as the Kondade Kolam, Kandade Kachi. You believe what you see. That is it's like looking only at the thing that is appearing, but there is something beyond. This is exactly what Krishna is starting to instill in the mind of Arjuna. So before I can try to convince somebody, I need to first get that person's attention. And in order for me to get that attention, I have to, make sure that I'm visible to him. Again, when I say visible, not physically visible, no, the grief is inside the mind of Arjuna. So the grief has already formed a concrete layer which is giving the opaqueness, and it is blocking the vision of Arjuna. It is true with everybody, every one of us. So when I am having a high degree of grief, or a high degree of anger, or a high degree of pleasure, or a high degree of fear, so these are the only four feelings that we actually have branches to. It is very hard to think beyond that layer. Now, as a person who's genuinely trying to help Arjuna, Lord Krishna is trying to help him get out of that layer, the hard rock layer of grief. So, what does he say? Natvevaham jatunasam. So you're saying you're going to kill, but there will never be a time where these guys will cease to exist. That's it. The answer is done. Now the curiosity will rise despite the grief. How are you saying that? How can somebody? This is how I will react when somebody says that. Because I'm confident that I'm going to kill that man. Because I'm only looking at the appearance of that guy. I'm not going to look at the, the Atma of the person. Because Atma is indestructible according to, Lord Krishna's belief. If that is the case, then okay. So this is where he uses never ceases to be. Now, next question is everybody, not just Arjuna. Arjuna will have a very focused question because his grief will help him to be focused on not to fight. Whereas me talking and you listening may not have the same focus, but at least we have been given the discount to hear this out without the grief which, and the pain which, meant the mental pain which Arjuna is going through. Right. So we don't have to go through necessarily the same pain, but by God's grace, and we can say that we will have the capability to understand it even without that feeling. But let's get back. So this is what he says. So natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipa nachaivana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamata param. So next, this is done. So this existence will never come to an end. We are going to exist forever. You, me, and the kings. Right. Now, next is what? Dehino asmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. You say that this existence is everlasting, eternal. How? This question was not asked. This is an implied question. Anybody is going to ask this question. So now the next shloka is going to answer that unasked question in the mind of Arjuna, which is Dehino asmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muhyati. Means what? The same Atma is wearing a dress. See, I'm body. My human body is wearing this shirt. Dehino asmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. Similarly, Atma wears multiple stages. Kaumaram. Kaumaram in Sanskrit means, the youth. Yauvanam. In the sense, child. Kaumaram, you can say, child, not, I'm sorry. So Kaumaram is, let's take it as, child, the child stage. We are born, we are just a child. And then after that, the same Atma, but the form of the human form changes to youth, from child to youth. And then from youth, we go to the old age. And from old age, we just leave the entire shariram and go to the next shariram, or the next human body. This is the meaning of the shloka, which is what? Just as the embodied Atma has in the body childhood, youth, and old age, so does it take the next body. Alright? So it wards off the previous one, the old one, and then takes the new one. Alright? So the next stage, the new body is just a stage the Atma is picking up. How does it happen? What is the mechanics of how an Atma comes out of one human form and go into another form? I am not going to discuss that in this video. We are going to see it a little further. Alright? So let's I guess let me complete this video right at this point in here, and let's come back with the next shloka in the next video. Have a wonderful time, people. Thank you so much for listening.